Welcome back to the TV classroom.
Welcome back.
Well, before we begin today, let's check in with our zones here at the TV classroom. It's Monday.
It is.
Sometimes Mondays are hard for us here at the TV classroom. That's okay. Check in with your zone. How are you feeling today? Are you feeling tired and sad? Are you feeling ready to go? Are you kind of in the yellow zone and really excited or a little bit nervous?
High
Or are you
energy.
mad? Can you show us how you feel with your body? Ready? I'm gonna do it. Will you do it too?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Can you guess how I feel? Can you guess, Miss Austin?
I had my eyes closed, so I couldn't.
Oh,
Will
I
you
was
do
like
it
this.
again? Oh.
Do you know what
You
zone I'm in?
You look content.
I am content. I'm in the green zone. What does yours look like?
Like this.
Oh, I think you're a little bit in the blue zone.
A little bit.
You're a little tired.
A little bit. I slept well, but, you know, Mondays.
Mr. Kevin, how are you feeling today? Can you show us? Oh, dear. I don't know. Is that a mad Mr. Kevin or a tired, frustrated, sad
Or a
Mr.
bored.
Kevin?
No, I'm not bored. I'm just, it's never boring around here, teachers.
That's
That's
true.
No, I just, it's the typical Monday.
Yeah, things seem to
Typical
go
Monday.
funny over the weekend here in the TV classroom. We're not sure why. So you in the blue zone, Mr. Kevin?
A little bit.
Little blue zoney? Wow, I'm the only green zone today.
You got to carry us, Mrs. Wally.
I can do it. That's totally fine. Let's check in with our personal standards.
Today and every day, we agree to
Show respect, make good decisions, and solve problems.
And we're definitely going to solve some problems today.
Oh, we are. I'm
It's
so
an exciting
excited.
day.
We have a special day today.
We do.
But before we do that, let's do the thing we do to show respect every day.
Every day.
Every single day here in the TV classroom, we are going to honor our indigenous lands and peoples, the people who came before us, whose land we are on.
Yes, and we do this by looking outside the window, look at the sky, look at the trees, look at your surroundings. Our physical space stands on the historical and ancestral lands of the Puyallup tribe of Indians. We acknowledge the Puyallup tribe of Indians community, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations. We make this acknowledgement as part of our work to dismantle the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism and unjust treatment. We're going to do a lot of learning about what all this means, because there's a lot of big words in there.
What should we talk about this week? We talked about elders
we talked
last
about
week.
What about future generations?
Oh, yes.
Because we talked about past generations,
Future.
future generations.
That's like my children. And then one day, if Oliver chooses to have a family, his children,
Yes.
and then their children, and their children. It just keeps going and going and going.
So when we say that we're going to acknowledge future generations,
Well, we might want to think about how we're treating the land today, because what we do today will impact what's available for them in the future. So if we just throw trash out, it makes me think of the movie WALL-E, where there's all that trash everywhere and the land they can't live
Yes.
on anymore. They were not thinking about future generations. They were just thinking about what they wanted right then and there. And it ruined the earth in that movie.
can we also think about how we treat the people,
Yes.
the land and the people all at the same time?
Because don't we want everyone to be a part of the community?
Yes.
So we need to treat everyone with respect,
Need to listen and learn from everyone.
especially the people who are different than us. You learn a lot by listening to people who are different than you.
You do. Because if I only surround myself with people who think like me, I only hear things that I already think or know.
And you know what I've learned is that the people who I think differently from or have a different life from, I realize we're actually more alike than we think we are.
Yes.
And we all want what's best.
Very interesting. So we'll keep having these conversations throughout this year and beyond.
That's
Because
correct.
they're important conversations
They
to
are.
have.
And we hope you have conversations at home too with your family about it.
Yes. We have a new phenomenon.
I forget which one it is.
I can do this.
You can do this, Miss
I can do
Hoslin.
this. I can totally do this.
She's gonna do it. This is something that makes her a little bit nervous.
It does.
She's got it. I believe in her. See,
Ooh.
she did it.
Oh, I love this one.
It's so good.
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Whoa. Oh. Miss Austin, what's that thing they're moving?
I think it's a weight.
Oh.
Move it to the back.
I wonder what conclusion we could draw from watching that. Friends, what do you think at home? What are you noticing? What's happening here? On the back, it goes wild and out of control, but it's on the front of the trailer. It just moves a little bit.
It's able to regain control.
What does that tell us about the force in the back there?
Ooh.
When it's heavier in the back, it takes over.
It exerts more of a force?
Maybe. I have a question, friends. If you're towing a trailer with your car or with someone's car that you know, where are you going to put the heavy stuff?
Not at the back.
Not at the back. I put it in the front of the trailer.
For this exact reason.
I wonder why it's happening.
Very interesting. I think we're going to learn more about it today.
We are. How, Miss Oslin?
We're going on a field trip.
We're going on a field trip, friends.
Okay, before we go on our field trip, though, let's get back to...
I'm so excited. I'm watching Miss Oslin do it on the screen up here. She's got this.
3 dots. End show. Start again.
Ta-da!
Yay.
She did it.
Okay. Okay, let's review our scientific process.
Oh, yes, this is important, especially
It
for
is.
today.
It is. So we have been
Making
observations, asking questions,
reading,
sharing data and ideas, coming up with an explanation. We're going to do some of that today.
we're going to be doing some experimenting.
We're going to gather more data and interpret our observations, which means now that we've done some thinking and some noticing
And some learning
and
from
some
reputable
learning,
sources.
Yep, we're going to take all that and we're going to connect it. So based on what we know and what we see, we're going to make a statement that sounds like, because, then,
Or when, then,
yes. This might require us to revise our thinking.
That's so important in science.
Okay, so we're going to learn more today. We're going to satisfy
We are going to
some
satisfy some curiosity. We might even answer some of our questions.
And definitely solving everyday problems, like thinking about the trailer and how you would load a trailer.
Right. And then we're going to have more questions.
Yes.
That's okay. That's part of science.
fun
Should we
part of
review our input chart?
Yes.
Or are we going to do big science words
I have
first?
that we're going to review our essential question,
Oh, good.
review our big science words, and then
the
our
chart.
input chart.
Beautiful.
So our essential question is how
Do objects move or remain still? What makes things move? My coffee cup is still. Now it's moving. Now here's interesting. I can't slide it.
Oh.
It won't slide.
Can you slide the jar?
Yeah,
Interesting.
but I can't slide. It's not moving. I have to pick it up.
There must be some friction.
Look at the bottom. Well, I can't, it's got coffee in it, but if I take a sip,
Oh.
feel it, Miss Oslin, feel.
Oh, I think it's a rubber bottom.
It's causing friction. I wonder if we'll learn about that today.
I wonder.
Hey, and tires are made of rubber.
Mr. Kevin.
I didn't even know it was going to happen. This was just something that just happened.
Make that connection, Mr. Kevin. What were you saying about the tires?
Tires are made of
So if tires are made of rubber and the road is made of asphalt or concrete, something really hard, gravel, right? So the rubber tire uses friction to help the car move along.
Or help the car remain
not,
still.
Or not slide.
Or not slide. Yeah.
So
Who would have known?
There's an everyday problem that is solved by understanding friction.
It is. Now I'm going to drink some coffee.
Do it. All right. We have been learning some
big science words.
Like force.
Force. A push or a pull on something. Motion, which is the action of moving.
A ramp. Everybody show us a ramp. A ramp.
It's a flat surface. It's flat with one end higher than the other.
It solves lots of everyday problems.
Yes, it does. And a slide.
It's just a track that goes down. And it has to be smooth and sloping, but it doesn't have to be straight. It can be curved.
Yes.
It can loop-de-loop, but it has to be a smooth sloping track.
Like a water slide.
Oh, or like the ones that you ride your inner tubes on.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to go to Wild Waves for a field trip on force.
Oh.
We're not gonna have time,
We won't.
but that would be fun. Okay, friends. Force is here, force is there.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Forces here, forces there, forces everywhere. Invisible forces pulling downward. Unbalanced forces exerting energy smoothly. Momentous forces creating movement powerfully. And opposite forces influencing predictably. Forces around the playground, forces against one another, and forces all objects around us, and forces within nature. Forces here, forces there, forces everywhere. Forces. I got a little confused on some of the words.
That's okay.
It's Monday.
It's a Monday. Okay, should we just quickly review our input
yes.
chart? Okay.
Remember, these are the types of forces we can have. We can have a push. It moves the object away. We can have a pull. It moves the object towards you. There's magnetism, where the magnet brings metal towards it.
That's a fun one.
And if you have two magnets and you put them in reverse way, you can force the magnet to go away. It's pretty fun. Gravity is a force that attracts objects to each other. And friction, that's like on my coffee cup. That's when you rub together and it slows or stops motion.
Okay, are you ready to tell them where we're going today?
Yep. Where are we going, Miss Oslin?
We are going to the LeMay Car Museum.
Have you ever been there? We get to go.
We're the only ones. Well, we're there with Miss Kelsey.
And Mr. Kevin and
Mr.
you
Kevin.
and me.
But that's it.
And we filmed this a little while ago. You might hear us say things like third graders. Because third graders also studied forces in motion earlier in the year.
They did.
And they got to go to this really amazing place, and we wanted you to experience it too.
And do you want to tell them what we're going to do?
I think we should keep it a secret.
Okay.
Are you ready? It has something to do with cars.
Something to do with forces in motion.
I wonder if they know. They might have a prediction. Should we have them predict?
That's a great idea.
Can you make an educated guess what we're going to do at the LeMay Car Museum that has to do with forces and friction?
And ramps.
And ramps.
Woo. And gravity.
And gravity.
Oh my goodness. Okay, stay tuned. Next time you see us, we'll be there. Bye, friends. Hey, Tacoma third graders. We are here at the LeMay Car Museum.
This is so cool. There's so many neat cars.
I'm so excited. Can you tell our friends what we're doing today, Miss Oslin?
We are going to learn about forces in motion from an expert, Miss Kelsey, She is going to talk about a lot of the things that we've already been learning about, and then she's going to show us how to build a pine wood derby car, and then one of you is going to get an opportunity to win your own pine wood derby car kit.
I bet you can't guess what you have to do to get into the drawing. What do they have to do, Ms. Oslin?
You need to post on Flipgrid, or send us an email, or send us something in the mail. And if you look on the Flipgrid, Miss Wally has, under the episode, it'll tell you exactly what it is that we would like you to post about.
It's gonna be awesome. All right, should we let Miss Kelsey take it away?
Yes.
All right, Miss Kelsey, you're on.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to LeMay, America's Car Museum. I can't wait for you to be back into the museum, but until that happens, which will be, you can take this part out, never mind, I'm just gonna go off with it. We can't wait to have you back in the museum, but today I wanted to show you about one of my favorite programs, which is our Pinewood Derby Car program. As you can see here on the table, I have a ton of fun supplies, and I hope that when you come back into the museum, this might be something that we can do together. So, what is a Pinewood Derby car? I have a variety of them over here, but a Pinewood Derby car, this came to be around 1953 when Donald Murphy, who is a cub master, wanted an activity for his son to do, but his son wasn't quite old enough yet to participate in the soapbox derby, so they came up with a smaller, condensed version of a car known as the Pinewood Derby car, and that has been very popular in Boy Scouts ever since. Side note too, if you want to see what a soapbox derby car is, it's on the side of the museum if you want to get a film of that. Perfect. So you've probably noticed with this car though that it has a unique shape to it. So this shape is very interesting, and it has to do with the term aerodynamics. Aerodynamics simply means that there is wind around an object and how the wind or the air travels around an object. An object is said to be more aerodynamic when there's less drag moving around it. Drag is simply air resistance. So if we were to look at two different shapes here, like this Pinewood Derby car and this block, which one do you think would have more drag or air resistance? I'll give you a hint. It's this one right over here. The wind is going to be hitting it in more places than it would over the Pinewood Derby car, where it has a better chance for it to go swoop over the top and go underneath as well. So if you want your car to go a little bit faster, keeping aerodynamics in mind is very important. There are a couple of things that you can do to make your car more aerodynamic. One of them is if you're starting with your base or your chassis of your car, you can actually sand it down a little bit and make it a little bit more rounded, like this one, which will also provide you with less drag.
You know, Miss Kelsey, Mr. Kevin was talking to us about sandpaper, and we didn't have any. Can you show them how the sandpaper works to cause friction?
Can. Yes. So I have a nice little sheet of sandpaper right over here. So when you are rubbing two objects together, that causes friction and it builds up heat. So when we want our car to go fast on our Pinewood Derby track, we want as least amount of friction as possible. So if we are able to remove some of the air friction and remove some of the friction with the wheels by sanding down our car, that is definitely going to help quite a bit. And you can sand off the front part of your car. You can also sand off the back part of your car. And even if you want to do the top and the bottom, you're more than welcome to do that too.
It's amazing how quickly it sanded down those corners. Those corners are already gone off your car.
The more grit you have on your sandpaper, the quicker it will go. But you could spend hours doing this, so it depends on how aerodynamic you would like it to be. So, you want to make your shape as aerodynamic as possible. The other thing that you need for your car to actually go is to add a set of wheels to it. So I'm going to go ahead and add on these wheels here. If you have one of these kits, or if you're one of the lucky students who win these kits, this is a tricky part to do, so if you need help, definitely ask your grown-up. But you want to put your blunt nose nail inside of the wheel, like so. And then there are grooves on the back of the car, and you want to line up your nail as close as possible into those grooves and get it as straight as you can. Again, this part is tricky, so don't feel bad if you are having a hard time with it too. I try to eyeball it as much as I can, make sure that it's going in nice and straight, and then when I'm feeling pretty good about it, slowly and gently, I use my body weight to push down more on the wheel, so it goes easier into the groove.
She's applying a direct force,
I
and
am
it's
applying
making
a
it move.
Yes. And if your wheels are a tad bit crooked, that's totally okay. You just don't want them to be super crooked. Because if your wheels are a little bit too crooked, I don't know how straight it's going to go down the Pinewood Derby track. And if it's not going very straight, you could lose some of the speed.
You know, I have a quick story. I
Yes,
always have
please.
stories. My car right now, my front left wheel is out of balance. And when I drive, it goes wobble, 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 wobble. I need to go get it in, but it makes it harder to go faster. 'Cause
Oh,
it's
I believe
wobbling.
that.
So I think it's really cool that you don't need a hammer. You don't need a tool.
You don't. Some people prefer using them. I don't. I just like using my own body weight, and that tends to work pretty well. But I've also been doing this for a while. I have seen some folks that like using needle nose pliers as well to help push it in. So if you have those, you are more than welcome
You could
to
even use a
them.
rock
You could.
as a hammer.
You could. All right, we've almost got all of our wheels in. One last one. And then I do recommend too, if you end up sanding down your car, you are also going to want to use a cloth, a paper towel, or a washcloth just to wipe it off afterwards, because probably one of the most important things that you want to do with your car is to decorate it. And if you are putting stickers on it, or if you're coloring it, those decorations are not going to stay on as well if you don't have a smooth surface to work with. So now we have a basic car. And then you can use whatever decorations you want. When I made mine, I just used a little bit of washi tape on it, but we have some other folks who used a variety of colors and markers. Someone made a spoiler with it, so you can really do anything that you want with your car.
Now, Miss Kelsey, the tape and other decorations can potentially add weight.
Ah, yes. So weight can be a good thing. Weight can also be a bad thing with your Pinewood Derby car. So depending on where you put the weight of your car, it could actually go faster. And that is all about balance. Sorry, let me find my notes.
She said balance. I wonder if it has to be a balanced force.
Wonder what happens if the force is unbalanced. Dum, dum, dum.
So if your force is unbalanced, there's a few things that could happen. Because you do want, I will give you a hint, for your car to go a little bit faster down a track, or just faster in general when you're applying a force to it, it is helpful to have most of your weight towards the back once you find the center balance of your car. Let me see if I can, maybe not.
Miss Kelsey, we need a drum roll.
Yes. So if you put your weight of your car towards the back over here, that is going to greatly increase your speed. It will help your car go flatter down the track as well. But if you put too much weight in the back, you could have it tip one way, and you might also have it slow down if you put it closer towards the front. This isn't the same all the time, though, because I have seen exceptions to this rule all the time with students. Sometimes it really just depends on what else they've done to their car. I've seen, especially with Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts, I've seen them actually hollow out parts of their car. So you can add weight to the bottom, you can add it to the inside. It really just depends. You just want to be careful, because if you add anything to the bottom, that could cause more friction against the ground, which will cause your car to slow down. Traditionally speaking, in a regular Pinewood Derby, if you're actually doing this as a competition, your car cannot weigh more than 5 ounces.
Oh, so they have like rules and regulations around what
They
your car,
do.
kind of like any other sport that you do. There's always
Exactly.
rules and regulations to make sure it's an even playing field.
Exactly. So typically when we do this program, we will give students a variety of washers, and we have a little scale that they can measure their car on first to see how much it weighs without the weights, and then afterwards, which I do have those washers and that scale. Should I go grab that really quick?
Well, we'll go over there in a little bit.
Okay, perfect.
We can try the cars out. We can put some washers on them and like try some cars down the track. Wouldn't that be fun?
It would be
Very
so
fun.
much fun.
Fun to play with the variables.
Yeah, we can change some variables and see what happens with the speed of the car.
Yes, and I definitely encourage that too, because some students find that their car goes faster without any weights, and a lot of that has to do with the placement of the weights and where they put it. So a couple of other things, and maybe we can talk about potential and kinetic energy when we're at the track.
Yeah.
Because we'll be talking about it going down. Perfect. Okay. Let's see.
That's a big science word.
Big science.
Word! Kinetic energy.
Yeah, so should we talk about that a little bit? And then, because I think it's really important. I like my students to test out their cars without any weights, and then I like them
Should
to
we
test
head
it.
over and start testing out cars?
Absolutely, yeah, and if you all want to grab a car too, you are more than welcome to do that. We can test them together.
I want the one with the spoiler. Oh, should we do it? Make it a fair way to choose?
Yeah, so Miss Austin and I, we both want the same car. So now we need to find a win-win situation. So what do we do?
I heard Miss Kelsey make a suggestion.
What did she say?
She said we could take turns.
So let's both pick out a car.
Okay.
And then we'll have this other car and we'll trade on and off with it.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
Which
Oh,
one
I
do
love that.
Well, I want this one because it says "Stay Rad."
you want? And I like this one because it says number one.
Number one. This one says number one too.
Okay.
Okay.
Just take them all. All right, let's test out our cars. So over here we have our lovely Pinewood Derby track. And it even has, we don't have it set up right now, but it even has a giant loop. So if you have a high enough ramp and you have enough energy, enough kinetic energy to get your car rolling, you can actually go around and do a loop.
Wow.
I have not been able to successfully do that, but that doesn't mean that you can't. So what you want to do is line up your cars at the top right here in between the grooves, right on the ramp there. And this is a great example of what we call potential energy. So all of these cars right here have potential energy because they are not moving. They have a great amount of it because they are on a hill. And one of our forces, gravity, once we pull the lever on the right-hand side over there, is going to take over. So gravity is going to pull down the cars, and then it becomes kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is any kind of energy that is in motion. So as soon as these start to roll, this potential energy becomes kinetic.
Okay. I have a better idea. That can be Mr. Kevin's car.
I like that idea. Mr. Kevin, do you like the red car?
I love the red car.
All right, should we
Okay.
test it out and see
Yeah.
how they do without any weights? I will let you do the honor since you have the
What do
lever.
you-
Do you see the lever right there on the side? Just pull it forward.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Ooh.
Oh. Something I noticed was that Miss Kelsey's car did not wobble very much. The other cars were wobbling and hitting the track. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with the results.
Definitely could. And to be fair, those other cars are examples that have been at the museum for a long time, and I have not adjusted their wheels. So maybe that added friction and the added crookedness could have had a little something to do with it. I made my car, the sparkly one, not too long ago, as in yesterday.
Now, we learned that a force in motion will stay in motion unless another force is applied upon it. And
That sounds like Newton's first law to me.
we learned about that.
Oh, okay.
I wonder what the force was because your car stopped pretty abruptly right here.
It did. If you look carefully here at this track, you'll see that this is kind of like a felt material. It goes from being really smooth to felt right here to slow it down. And you'll notice too that we even have some at the very end here, because if the car weighs even more and it's going even faster, we want to make sure that it stops at some point, but we want there to be a little bit of cushion there for it. So yes, that was the other force that acted on it as well.
I felt that would make a difference.
Mr. Kevin. Well played. Well
Yes. All right, so over here we have our little weight station. If you are doing a similar activity to this at home, we're using washers, but you can use coins, buttons, bottle caps, anything that you have to attach weights onto your car. We also have a simple little scale here. Because remember I said earlier, most Pinewood Derby cars, let's see, we have it in ounces, which is good. Most Pinewood Derby cars, if you're doing this in a regular competition, can't weigh more than 5 ounces. So let me fix that really quick so it's at 0. So let's see how much my car weighs without any weight. Whoops. Okay, so 2.9 ounces. So I can add a decent amount onto my car before it's above regulations. But you know what? If you're doing this at home or for fun, add as much weight onto it as you want. So if you all would like to weigh your cars, you're more than welcome to. I'm gonna tape on my washers using some masking tape.
2.6 ounces on yours, Mrs. Wally.
I think that one might even be a little bit more.
Is this my car?
That's your car, Mr. Kevin.
Oh my gosh, 3.35 ounces plus the spoiler and the paint.
So the spoiler must add quite a bit of weight to that one.
And yeah, 2.40 for Mrs. Oslin's car. And then, oh, you're trying to balance it. Nice. That's pretty good. So that must mean there's an equal amount of weight on either side of your finger. Is that right?
I'm gonna add some more. Let's see how much more I can add.
All right, Miss Oslin, you add some weights to your car. Mr. Kevin, do you want us to add weight to your car?
Sure, go ahead. I can't do it, but
Yeah.
you can do it for me, right?
Sounds good. I'm gonna put the mic down so I can add some weight.
Yeah, please do.
I'm gonna see if I can get mine right up to the 5 ounces or close to it. And remember, you can add weight to the top of your car, you can add it to the bottom of your car, but you just want to be careful for friction if you decide to go that route. Ooh, and I might need to add some tape on the side.
Just to make sure those weights are secure, huh?
Exactly.
Kind of like giving them a little seat belt.
Right, it's all about safety. I don't want my weights flying everywhere. Okay, let's see how much it weighs. Ooh, it's significantly heavier. Whoops,
Okay.
stay still, stay still. Ooh, 4.65.
4.65 ounces. Wow.
Okay, I think I'm gonna keep it at that. I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Okay.
We'll see if it helps. Oh, all right. Adding some
Now-
weights to the back. Oh, and oh, all right. Going right underneath. I wonder what will happen.
Yeah, I wonder what'll happen too.
I'm trying to be careful that it doesn't stick to the wheels, too.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You don't want to get too much material on the wheels because you want those to keep spinning. Otherwise, your car is going to stay put. 4.3.
Do you want to add some to his?
Sure.
He doesn't need much. It's pretty
No,
heavy.
no. I'm going to start. Oh, yeah, I have washers over here, too. I'm going to start. We're going to add 2, and we're going to see where that puts us. Oops. Stack, stack, stack.
So teachers, I just thought of a cool experiment. Take the same. Say that one's at 4 ounces now. Okay. Take the same 2 cars, or the same car, as close as you can get, and take the same amount of weight on each in different spots.
Oh, yeah.
I got 4.9.
It's
Oh,
more of a
nice.
balanced force.
I'm going to.
Yeah, and see, we could test the theory, or students could test the theory of where the weight is placed as to how it affects the speed.
That is a good idea.
How fun.
All right. You know what? I think I will try adding mine to the front since mine was one of the faster ones. So we'll see if it's still fast after this.
All right.
Whoops.
Kelsey, for the wheels, if we're adjusting the wheels, should they be right up against the wood or should there be space?
There should be a little bit of space
Okay.
because if they're right up against the wood, you're going to have to worry about your friend friction again. Oop, and I'm taping my wheel. We don't want to do that.
Now, I imagine tape on the wheel would be bad for friction, right?
Yes.
It would increase.
Or good for friction, bad
Or
for
good-
you.
yeah, right. All depends on how you look at it. Right?
Exactly. All right. I'm going to tape one more on here.
You know, sometimes when I have things like this, I decide to do the opposite, and I try to be the slowest car. Instead of the fastest, I do my own little thing.
Yeah.
So I try and see if I can be the slowest one. That's fun to do, too. So then friction would be my friend.
Yes.
There
How
you
much
go.
drag can you create? All right. Oops. Stay on there. This is the trickiest part. It's just getting it to stay. So 4.3.
4.3.
I feel he wants to do it. Yeah. He's not going to do it.
That's okay. All right. Are we?
I added weight to the bottom and to the top.
Oh.
I hope the weight on the bottom, Miss Oslin, doesn't rub against the track.
I checked it. I did this.
Oh,
Good
okay.
way to test it
Double
out.
check.
All right. 4.25.
Wow.
All right.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. I'm excited to see how this goes.
And I think we should have them in the same spot so that we don't change that variable.
I like it. Okay.
So the only variable we're changing is the weight and the placement of the weight. You ready, Mr. Kevin?
I think it's about the same.
It is.
Interesting.
I wonder if it's your wheels. Now, in there, I adjusted my wheels a little bit
That could definitely have something to do with it.
because your wheels could be rubbing up against here and causing friction, and so it's slowing it down. Now, I'm going to tell you one of our assignments for you is to think about what around your home could you use to make a little car. Now, you got to get creative. One person will win the Pinewood Derby box. From all the submissions, we'll put all the names in a hat. We're going to draw a name. But you have to submit either in writing what you would do. You can actually do it and film it. You could film and talk about it. You could create a presentation, do whatever you want. But how could you use the materials around you in a responsible way to make your own car at home without a Pinewood Derby kit? Like, I'm thinking, what could you use for an axle that is thin and a cylinder? What could you use for wheels?
Could you use for the body or the chassis?
Right, that's not just a block.
I mean, you could use a block, but remember, you're going to be creating more drag
Right.
if you just have a block as opposed to something that is wedge-shaped.
I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to tell him this, but I'm going to tell him anyway. I'm thinking, like, you know those blocks of cheese? You could, like, cut it and, like, mold the block, but you need to ask an adult first. There's lots of ways.
That would be funny, Mrs. Wally, to see a wedge of cheese racing down the track.
Well, I'm trying to think what I would use for the wheels. Like, oh, you know the pinwheel pasta? Yeah. I could use the pinwheel pasta, and then I could use toothpicks for the
Yes.
axles.
Spaghetti.
Oh, yeah, like really thick spaghetti. However, that cheese is heavy.
And you want to make sure that your spaghetti is not al dente.
Yeah, that would be bad. Uncooked spaghetti. Cooked spaghetti would not work. So that's your job. Your job is to think about what could you do, knowing what you learned today about the friction and the forces, the changing the balance of the weight, the friction on the wheels. How could you make a Pinewood Derby car? And if you want to try it out, go for it. You don't have to try it out, but get your imagination going. And if you do try it, make sure to video it and show us. Now, you don't have to have a Pinewood Derby track.
Not
You can
at
just
all.
use a board and put it up like on a chair and have it go down the board. Okay, friends?
Thank you so much, Miss Kelsey. We learned so much, and we're so excited to be here at the LeMay Car Museum in Tacoma. Now, friends, it is time for our affirmation. This is the time of the day when we say positive things about ourselves before we go off to complete our independent tasks. And I think I am creative because I felt really creative while I was working with my Pinewood Derby car. So let's all take a deep breath together. and say our affirmation. I am creative. Excellent job today, third graders. We can't wait to see what you come up with. We'll see you back here next time in our TV classroom. Bye.
Rules. 1. You have 10 seconds to pick your crewmate. 2. A new timer will appear with an exercise for the crewmate you picked. 3. You will get points for each correct crewmate and exercise you choose. 4. You will get bonus points if you hit a grand slam. 5. If you pick the imposter, you will lose all your points. 6. Use your math skills to see how many points you can get. Good luck.
telling me